If you don't stay down and you never quit, come on over here and sit on the far end of the bench.
We are back. We are T-minus less than 3 weeks away from Christmas and everybody going off and enjoying family time, New Year's. If you're working in sports, you'll continue working and you'll be able to continue having new shows of the far end of the bench. We're going to figure it out somehow. We haven't talked about it yet, but I'm sure we'll figure when we're going to do our bracket pick show, because we've done that for the last 4 years. Can't leave it out for year number 5. Well, we'll talk a little bit about the initial playoff bracket that was released. We got more college football drama going on. If you've been joining us recently, and I know a lot of you are, we appreciate it. Continue to make sure that you're following, you're subscribed, like the video, comment down below. We jump down in the comments. I've been getting after people. If you tell me my opinion's wrong, you better have something to come back it up. I'll tell you what. Make sure that you're following and subscribed. We love everybody that's joined us so far, and we got more and more stuff to talk about. Playoff football is about to be upon us, both NFL and college, and I know, Nico, it's NBA Cup season. Why isn't everybody talking about the NBA Cup?
It's the best bracket that's out right now, the NBA Cup. It's the only current playing bracket right now, by the way, because the college football playoff hasn't started yet. So it counts for something.
It does count. It's mid-season tournament, because the NBA has to distract something about those allegations that came out recently and all the other drama that's going on. Speaking of drama and speaking of trying to, I'll say, shimmy your way out of something, Notre Dame, should they be upset? They should, because of the way that everything happened. I will have my opinion about why this was met with such a visceral reaction, but I do want to get your perspective on it. But obviously they were on the bubble spot. They should have been in the bracket if nothing changed. And the team that ended up moving into the bracket, Miami, who did beat them earlier this season, also didn't have a game to play. So it wasn't like they had something play out on the field. Literally sitting in a boardroom, Notre Dame went from in the bracket to out of the bracket, and they jumped Miami in. There's ramifications going all throughout the college sports landscape, because I don't know if you saw it today, but the AD for Notre Dame came out and he had some choice words for the ACC, which happens to be their basketball conference, because they do play in a conference in anything other than football. And he's like lacrosse, also, basketball, and he had some choice words for that conference, and it's going to be a very interesting relationship moving forward.
Well, let me just preface this, because I think this is the most factual statement we've said in the 5 years of the show. The College Football Playoff Committee is the most corrupt organization in sports. They don't care. They do whatever they want, and they don't care what you think. Because let's be honest, the conversation should have Miami been above Notre Dame this whole time.
Yeah.
Yes, they beat them.
And if you go by any of the other other metrics, they're dead even, and then they have the head-to-head tiebreaker against you. Yes.
That game was what, September 7th?
It was, the very first. It was week 1.
Whatever, September 6th, September 7th. We are December 10th, 11th as you're listening to this. And all of a sudden the things change?
No,
right?
Guess what? Miami still has that win over Notre Dame, and it still counts the same on their record.
So like I said, the argument for Notre Dame is like, well, why did you not do this the whole time? Which 100% makes sense.
Yeah.
100% makes sense. Because you don't just change your morals 1 week before. Because, like I said, if Miami had played a bowl game or played in an ACC championship, for instance, right? If they were in the ACC championship and they won that game or they were within a touchdown score and they proved that they should have been one of the teams in, right? That would have given you an argument.
And that also then takes away, like, you can have the head-to-head argument still, but then the argument becomes, well, Miami's in a conference. Notre Dame, you're still not in a conference for football. And guess what? This bracket is designed to protect conference champions and then to protect the top teams. And if you want to be considered one of these top teams, I get the 2 losses are to Texas A&M and Miami, who both are in the bracket, both playoff teams. It's not like your losses were terrible, but you know what your wins were? Northern Illinois, the Sisters of the Poor, the School of the Blind. So don't sit here and tell me that we're punishing you for playing in these big games and losing. No, we're not doing that. It is just the worst scenario. ESPN needs content so badly. They are bastardizing college football and forcing this reaction.
They are being punished for not being in the conference. They're not being punished for their schedule. They're being punished for not being in the conference. Because like you said, every single week, you've given me updates every single week, right? On the rankings. They've been above Miami. Outside of the 1 week they won, after Miami lost a couple times and Notre Dame did the same thing, they were ranked above them.
Yep.
The argument Notre Dame fans have that makes 100% sense is what between last week's college football playoff bracket release, right? What was that, on Saturday or Sunday?
It released on Sunday, yeah.
On Sunday before the championship weekend, right? What happened between that 1 week where both teams sat at home? What happened? What changed? Because right now, I don't think their argument is with Miami. They lost. They know they lost. Their argument is that, okay, if this weekend matters so much, why are we not above Alabama? Why are we who got blown out, but got the shit breaking off from them, right?
Yeah.
Because be honest, right? If Miami deserved to be in, and they felt like they did because they need ACC representation, Miami should have jumped Alabama, and Notre Dame should have had the tiebreaker over Alabama, right? That's the argument there that makes the most sense to me. And like I said, this is almost as bad as the Final Four or the 4-team playoff when we talked about. Because 4-team playoff, we knew you're not winning the conference championship, you're not in. You're done. Sayonara, adios. Right? You may, unless you are the number 1 team and you lose to the number 2 team in the country, you're not in the playoff. Like that's how that whole thing worked out. And now you're sitting here and people are bitching and moaning. James Madison, Tulane, why are they in? Texas is at home. Vanderbilt's at home. All this. These people don't know what it's like to have a 12 seed make it to the Final Four in March Madness basketball. Okay.
No. And I will get into.
Like.
So the reason why I think this whole thing blew up the way that it did, and why I don't agree with what the Notre Dame Bevilacqua. I can't, Bevilacqua or something like that. I want to say that, but then I know that's a Sopranos character. But he's blowing up this badly because of the shows that they do every Tuesday from week 8 on. Nico, do you get a weekly selection show for the NCAA March Madness tournament?
No.
And the reason why is because then when they're having their behind closed doors meeting before they put out the bracket, they can maneuver whoever they want.
Wherever and whoever.
Pop. Like that's everybody gets a team in the March Madness bracket. First of all, there's 68 teams that make it. Every conference. But like you have ADs in the meeting the same way that you do with the college football playoff, except the difference is we've seen exactly what the college football playoff committee has come up with over the last 6 weeks. And for 6 weeks, they told us Notre Dame, even though they lost to Miami, is better.
And then they changed when nothing happened.
That's something you can do when you don't give away your hand. When you're playing poker, you don't sit there and say, "I have a full house."
It honestly diminishes the standings in how the conference championship games go, because like I said, when you go to the conference tournaments, when it comes to March Madness, right? Beginning of March is the conference tournaments, Big 10 championship, Big 12, SEC, all those. Every team has a chance to win. Right, every team, no matter if you're a 2-win team or if you're the best team in the conference, you have a chance, right? I
want to say real quickly, I love the regular season champion and then also the tournament champion. I do think that football could possibly look at doing something like that if they want to.
Oh, we are going to diminish the fuck out of these conference championships. We are almost at zero at how much these mean. There's almost at zero. Because, like I said, we can argue this conversation. Why doesn't BYU stay in? Alabama stayed in.
You know what I mean?
So
the best comment.
Why does BYU not stay in? Because Alabama got slacked by the same team twice. BYU lost 2 games all year to the same team. That's the number 3 seed in the country.
And we did mention that going into conference championship weekend, even if BYU, they would have a similar argument to Alabama, but the difference is Alabama won the regular season matchup and then lost in the conference championship.
The difference between them is one's Alabama, one's BYU.
Yeah, and that was the best comment. So shout out at Anuit Coeptus 12. That was our best comment over the entire week. We put out a video and he put it down and he's like, it's ridiculous that they are just able to do this. And they still have Saban rules in place. I coined the term Saban rules in place for Alabama, even though it's very clear Kalen DeBoer is not Nick Saban, and they still have the ability. Like This is if Notre Dame, if they would have backed Florida State when Florida State was left out of the 14 playoff that year that Travis went down at the end of the season, then it would make a little bit more sense. This is why this is the most selfish, egotistical time that we've ever had in college football. It goes back to Lane Kiffin. It goes to this college football playoff committee. Everybody is selfish. The ACC wanted that extra $10 million, whatever it is, to make the college football playoff bracket. So they screwed over a Notre Dame team that after they lost, proved that they could right themselves and possibly make a run. I do think that Notre Dame, if they make the 12-team bracket, there's a possibility we're talking to them in a quarterfinals, semifinals matchup again because of how good they are. And now they're just going to not play anything. And I don't know what your opinion is on that. Do you agree with the fact that they're not even going to suit anybody for a bowl game? I get that they had playoff aspirations. This is a participation thing, and everybody talks all that trash about participation awards. But in my mind, I'm thinking about it like the seniors that did want to play in the playoff, they probably want maybe one more time to play a football game against whoever it's going to be against. But it's not like they're going to stick them in the Duke's Mayo Bowl.
Yeah, I mean they'd be playing probably like Utah or something, or BYU. They'd be playing BYU in a conference in a like Cheez-It Bowl or something, or a Pop-Tart Bowl or something.
Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. There
Fiesta
we go.
Bowl or something. Or I don't know, Fiesta Bowl's a playoff.
It's a playoff game this year? Damn.
I think it is. But like I just sit here and I see it two sides. One, they have all the right to be pissed off. Two, you still like you should have your players playing in the conference in a one more game to chance, because there's players out there on that Notre Dame team that could use one more game of film. But here's the flip side of that again. What happened to Jake Butt? What happened to all these top level talents that were first round bona fide studs in the NFL draft?
Yeah, I'm thinking of
meaningless.
A guy for Notre Dame, Jalen Smith, the linebacker that ended up playing for the Cowboys for a few seasons in the NFL. He was looked at as the next Luke Kuechly. That's how good he was before he blew his knee in a meaningless bowl game.
Exactly. So it's give or take when you're one of the best teams in the country. So I understand it from two side points because, frankly, like Notre Dame let's be honest, Notre Dame, half that team probably wouldn't play in the bowl game if they played in it. And then you run the risk of getting embarrassed with half your team being there and everyone pointing at you being like, ha, 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 why are you doing this? They didn't deserve to be in there when half the team didn't play. You
know who they're taking their learning lesson from? It's Florida State, because remember that season they did go to a bowl game against Georgia, and Georgia waxed them. They had nobody playing them, but Georgia absolutely made it hurt. Georgia was also upset that they got left out of the 14 playoff that year, and Kirby Smart got those guys to put everything out on the field. And maybe this is, I mean, I'm not saying anything bad about Marcus Freeman as a coach, but maybe he recognizes in his team, I'm not going to be able to get these guys to do what they need to do to win this bowl game. They're going to be so distracted. They're going to just be sitting there arguing with people back and forth on Twitter and YouTube and all the other social media platforms, just arguing with people like, we should have been in there. We could beat this team. Well, I get all of that.
We are getting close back to the days of where we awarded a national championship after seeing every single bowl game play out and be like, you know what, that team's the best team. We are nearing that, because we know SEC. We know that the Alabama and Georgia, if they have 2 wins, are going to be in the or 2 losses. Doesn't matter where they're ranked, they will be in the bracket. Doesn't matter, they will be, right. They know for a fact Oregon, doesn't matter if you have 2 losses, you'll be in the playoff. Right, you could go down a list of teams. If this team, this A-list team, has 2 wins or 2 losses, 2 losses, doesn't matter who they were playing against, they'll be in the playoff. They'll be in the playoff. And what makes it so difficult is not necessarily the conversation about Alabama, because look, Alabama could very well win 2 games and make a national championship. They're a good team. But at the same time, like I said, you're diminishing conference championships. You're diminishing regular season games. We will never see
bashing one school over another for the same thing.
Like Notre Dame will not schedule Miami again, right? If like, why would you do that?
At least not in the first 4 weeks of the season.
Why, if you're Texas, why would you schedule Ohio State ever again? Right? Why would you? Why would you even consider it? Like, we might as well move away from non-conference games, because it doesn't mean anything at this point. Because it's going to be games against. It's going to be Power 5 schools or Power 4 schools, whatever you want to call it, against schools that are just there getting money for the program. That's all it's going to be the first 5 weeks of the season until we get to conference play.
I honestly, the more that we sit here and the more that we talk about this, and we're about to get into our reactions to what the bracket is, and I'll throw that up on the screen. So if you're not watching on YouTube, make sure you go check it out, subscribe, leave a like and a comment on the video. Who do you think was snubbed out of their spot? Should it have been BYU? Should it have been the Notre Dame Fighting Irish that we've been talking about? But
this should have been
it could have been, Texas.
You go down the list, yeah.
Vanderbilt did try and schedule themselves a game on the weekend that the conference championship, nobody took them up on their offer. They are smart over there. So maybe they're going to sue the NCAA because they're also alleging that the entire ranking system and the TV shows that we saw every week were rigged. But what I do want to put out there is I think that college basketball is a good point for college football to look at this point.
College basketball is the peak.
You should look to
how playoffs should go.
You should look to doing a regular season. Like everybody plays everybody in their conference. Yes, you can have a regular season champion. You finish with this record against your conference. You get into the conference tournament, quote unquote. It's not going to be all 16 teams in the Big Ten. I don't think that it should be all 16 teams in the Big Ten because, again, football is different than basketball. You don't get a Cinderella run, but you can get a team that figures itself out at a certain point. It's not it's different than a Cinderella run because who's the team that had like no gym, like they couldn't play music in their basketball gym because they had a classroom butted right up against them. It's like St. Francis or something. I think they were the Peacocks. So you're not going to get a St. Francis in college football, but for JMU and for these other teams, like, and for the teams that got left out of the Big Ten, the ACC, and the Big 12, you get a certain record against your conference. Like Utah could possibly beat BYU. It was a one-score game. That's a rivalry game that if you see it in a postseason format where it's win or go home, you could get a good season. And yes, that will cut down. Instead of 12 regular season games, you'll get 8, but then you'll get those 4 possibly extra playoff games in the conference tournament. And then you actually know who played the best, who is hot.
Honestly, that's the best. That's the best solution we have. Let's be honest with you. Get rid of non-conference games, right? Have the best 8 teams in a conference play for a conference championship.
The way the super conferences are now, like you're getting everything that you used to get out of conference games in conference.
We are nearing that, and this is and let me because this is another argument that I want to stand 2 feet on. That I strongly, firmly believe this. Tulane and James Madison deserve to be in the college football playoff more than Texas.
Yeah,
more than Notre Dame, more than Vanderbilt. They were the best teams in the conference. I'm sorry. I didn't realize we were just riding the coattails of the Big Ten and SEC. If we're doing that, get rid of conference championships. Get rid of all this because it doesn't fucking matter, right? That should matter. They played last week. Texas sat on their ass the last couple of weeks not playing anybody, right? Vanderbilt didn't really play anybody, right? These teams, there is more than fucking 20 teams in the country that play football. I'm sorry, ACC. I'm sorry. Virginia had the chance to knock one of those 2 teams out. But Duke
pushed it all the way out to overtime.
And then Duke happened, right? And look, Duke has a better argument than Texas, in my opinion.
Yeah, Duke didn't even make the playoff.
Duke didn't even make the fucking playoff. You know what I mean? Duke has a better argument than all those teams. And I understand they're 8-4, but it should fucking mean something.
8-5 or 9-5, excuse me.
Whatever it is.
They had 5 losses this season. They were
it was horrible.
The fact that they were in the conference championship game. The ACC needs to rework their rule book and the tiebreakers.
The ACC got lucky that Miami got jumped Notre Dame because that was another reason why I think Miami jumped them.
Yeah,
because they felt like they had to have an ACC team.
They had an ACC athletic director that definitely took his tie off. He's like, we're not leaving this room until we put an ACC team in, whether it's Pitt, who ended up with only 2 losses on the season, didn't make their conference championship. You're not putting Notre Dame in over an actual ACC team. We're not giving the rich school more money. We're going to give it to this conference, and we're going to give it to Miami so that we can possibly get ourselves.
That's what makes it so corrupt even more. Because, like I said, Virginia, if they won, they were in. We knew that. We knew that. We had this conversation last week. So the committee was sitting there praying to God Virginia fucking won. Being like, please win so we don't have this conversation because there's no argument. Okay, they're in, right? Then it's James Madison on the outside looking in. You know what I mean? Like it's just so annoying and it makes no sense. And like I said, we are, and to those Texas fans, Vanderbilt fans, Notre Dame fans that are be like, this is ridiculous that these teams aren't above us, blah blah blah. Okay, fine. Do you want to just have one Super League? Do you want to have one Super League where 20 teams play? Because we're nearing that. We're nearing that, right? Do you not want to care about the 100 other teams in the country? Do you want to sit here and just be like, you know what? There's only 20 teams that matter. Give me 10 from the SEC, 10 from the Big Ten. Everyone else, fuck off. That's what you want. That's what you want? Because that's what we're nearing because of the arguments that these fan bases are having with not having Tulane, not having James Madison in. I hope that Tulane and James Madison both win a game. I don't think it's going to happen, be honest with you, right? One's playing Ole Miss, which very good chance. I think it's Tulane, right?
Tulane is playing Ole Miss,
yeah. So that's probably has the best chance. And James Madison's playing, is it Oregon?
They are going to Autzen Stadium and trying to be the second team in 40 games to beat them at Autzen Stadium.
Yeah, that's not going to be very well. So, but I think Tulane has a very good chance of beating Ole Miss, especially without Kiffin, and maybe even going into playing Georgia and shocking them. Right? I want that more than anything, just so everyone can shut the heck up about we need 20 teams and everyone else in college football doesn't matter. Like I said, Indiana, think about this. Indiana wouldn't have been in that top 10 or top 20 conversation 2 years ago. We would have thought of Indiana being like, you want Indiana in the powerhouses of college football?
The Hoosiers? The Hoosiers?
I'm sorry, who? Texas Tech doesn't deserve to be in that conversation either last couple of years, right? You could go down the list. And those are two teams that have first-round byes. This is why it's important to fucking take care of your non-Big Ten, your non-SEC teams as much as it is to take care about those teams. Because the world doesn't revolve around Tuscaloosa, Alabama. I'm sorry.
Especially not without Saban. That is 100% the truth. And I think Crimson Tide fans are learning that. That's going to be the first matchup that we talk about. Alabama will have to go on the road. They did lose to Oklahoma at home. Oklahoma was outgained 4-1 in that game, or 2-1. One of the two. 4-1 sounds better, so we'll go with 4-1. But it was should have been a bloodbath in the Crimson Tide's favor, and now they have to go out the opposite direction, go to the Palace on the Prairie. Are you seeing it? We talk about it in the NFL. It's tough to beat a team twice. I feel like that's probably twice as true in college football. Do you think that the Crimson Tide get this matchup in the 8-9 and move on into the neutral site section in the quarterfinals?
No, give me John Mateer. Give me John Mateer. I'm pretty sure Mateer's playing, right? Is he back?
He is back. He's been playing. He has not looked as good as he did before his surgery, but he is still the quarterback. That defense will shut down Ty Simpson again.
I want the downfill of Alabama more than anything right now because it's ridiculous that they're playing that SEC championship where they got their ass handed to them. Georgia put their ass on a platter and served it to them. That's exactly what happened in the SEC championship. BYU's exact same thing just happened. I want Oklahoma to run through this team like Alabama doesn't deserve to be there, which they don't.
As Saban coined on College Game Day, like shit through tin horn.
Kalen DeBoer also coaching for his job. Right? He got lucky. He made the playoff because he didn't make the playoff 2 years in a row. He wouldn't have been in here. He would have been first class ticket to probably Penn State, maybe Michigan now. He would have been adios, amigo.
By the way, Penn State hires Matt Campbell out of Iowa State, so they get a guy that's not a high profile. Probably a guy that the fan base will give a few years.
Yeah, I think he's a great.
He's a great coach. I mean, he built Iowa State into a Big 12 contender, and given the resources that he's going to have, maybe.
Yeah, that's probably one of the best hires they could have had based upon who was left.
Especially with the way that everything else went, and every other coach getting hired before them. Moving into, we'll go same side of the bracket. We'll move down. JMU going to Autzen. You already said it.
I want JMU to make this a game and make it interesting, but
this is a thanks for coming out game.
This is a thanks for coming out game.
Okay. Enjoy that bag. Enjoy that bag and enjoy Billy Napier as your next head coach.
This is where Texas and this is where Notre Dame, this is where Vanderbilt, where they can all raise the banner of JMU lost by 30 to Oregon in a playoff game, so we should have been in the playoff. Raise the banner. Bring it up that you should have been in the playoff because James Madison got their ass kicked to Oregon. Raise the banner.
It would be poetic justice to have JMU actually put up a fight. And like I said, Billy Napier's going out there, but I think he'll do better without the pressure of being at Florida. And JMU will continue to be a Sun Belt contender. And possibly we'll see the Dukes in the bracket again if they don't always give the 12 seed to Notre Dame like they just written to their rule book.
JMU just lost as losing their second head coach.
That's what I mean. Billy Napier is the one that's going to replace the guy that's coaching them through the playoffs.
Is it the JMU coach that went to? No, it's the Tulane coach that went to Florida.
The Tulane coach went to Florida. He is Summerall still coaching for the Green Wave, and I can't the name for the JMU coach is not coming to my mind, but he is still coaching through and then once the season ends, he will move out to his new job, and Billy Napier will take over for the Dukes. But it would be awesome. And Oregon, I love Dante Moore. Dante Moore will probably be a Heisman finalist, but I think next season will be the year that Dante Moore becomes untouchable because Oregon has lost to Indiana at home, and it's just not quite as dominant. If there's a coach that I believe is not going to let them eat the rat poison, Dan Lanning is a coach that I believe will make sure that they're ready to play. That's going to be probably the X factor.
We did say that last year when they got their butts handed to them by Ohio State in the Rose.
That was Ohio State with Will Howard and Jack Sawyer, and
a lot different team for sure. 100% a lot different team.
It'll be, like I said, I'm agreeing with you that I hope they make it a game. It's the same thing that I said about BYU last year. Make Penn State sweat a little bit, and I'll be okay. Give me a first half where it's a 10-point, not 10 point. Yeah, but if it's 10 points at the end of the first half, is that making it a game?
That's a win. That's a win. That's a win in my book. That's 100% a win in my book.
I was going to say maybe I'm putting too much out or not giving them enough credit, but 10 points against Oregon's defense for them. Hey, they gave up 25 to Northwestern, and Northwestern was playing in a soccer stadium with pumped-in crowd noise. So Oregon's vulnerable.
By the way, hold on. That stadium, unbelievable. By the way, that Northwestern stadium on the water. That's where we played during the summer.
Contractually obligated to say that.
I'm not. I jumped in the river, Jimmy, after our game. It was so much fun. Are you kidding me?
No, I know.
It is a beautiful stadium.
It was just I missed the game day where they explained how that was happening. So I missed that part of game day, and then when I turned it on, I was like, "Are they really? That is not bigger than this field I just watched PLL at DU. Are they really playing here?
Exact same size. That's literally where we filled out that stadium for a PLL game." And
they didn't fill it out for Oregon versus Northwestern.
No, they did not.
Their new stadium, by the way, because it is a smart school, their new stadium is supposed to be top notch. So I'm interested to see what I'll give them the credit that they deserve with the new stadium. But when I turned that on, I was like, oh, there's no way Oregon's actually going to want to play. It's 8:00 in the morning when they kick this thing off, and they're playing in the middle. It was right after a downpour, and they're like, we have to play on a lacrosse field. Yeah, they still have the yellow circle in the field. We have to play here. No,
it was a soccer stadium / lacrosse. Yeah, both. Yeah.
Moving to the top right of the bracket, we have the Miami Hurricanes at the 10 seed going up against the 7 seed Texas A&M Aggies. We talked about the Aggies last week. They blew it. You blew it. You could have had a first round bye, and all you had to do was keep Texas away, and you couldn't do it. And your quarterback, who looked like a superhuman, turned back into Clark Kent. Like this is the perfect scenario. Aren't you just expecting ACC will win this game because it's Texas A&M? If it was any other SEC team, I would give it to the SEC team outright.
It's also Miami.
It is also Miami.
That's the counter argument. It's also Miami.
But Carson Beck has played in the SEC before. Carson Beck, I got to look up Carson Beck's stats against the Aggies, but I have to feel like he's done pretty good.
Yeah, but it's a Spider-Man meme of two teams that are like one of us has to lose. Right, one of us has to be slaughtered to the lambs of Ohio State, right?
I'm getting.
I'll leave Miami because I like Miami more, and I think Carson Beck at least is more competent than what anything A&M continues to put out. So yeah, I mean it's a road game, which makes it tough. Obviously, Texas A&M has a great home field advantage, so that will play into a big factor. But I think I like Miami in this game.
Is this lambs to the slaughter? Because if whoever wins this matchup goes out to play Ohio State, even at a neutral site, I wish the quarterfinals were also on campus because it would be cool to see them play at the Horseshoe in the second round of the playoffs.
Well, I would argue and say that there's not. I mean, out of all the second round matchups outside the one that we're about to talk about next, I don't think there will be one easy outright winner. I think that every single game will be close. I think Miami could make it interesting. Ohio State. I think Bama or Oklahoma. Yes, Indiana is an absolute powerhouse. We've got to give them love and flowers for
the Hoosiers are flipping chips.
I think Bama and Oklahoma will give them a run for their money, especially not playing for a month, which is another big factor into all this. And obviously, Oregon, I think Texas Tech may be the game of the weekend. So it's I think all these matchups are going to be very interesting second round, no matter who comes out. outside of maybe JMU, Tulane, if they both win their first game.
So, are you going with the 11-8? Are you?
Oh
going...
yeah, the 11-8 may be the new 12-5 in college basketball. Because didn't the 11 beat the 8 seed last year? Wasn't the 11 Notre Dame? No. What was the 11-8? You're gonna have to.
Notre Dame was the 6th seed.
Okay,
so the 6th seed was the lowest that we were able to get in. The 11 was.
Wasn't that Arizona State?
No, because they were They had a bye the first round. I think it might have been Boise. I think it was Boise. Or SMU. It was one of those
two.
I thought
SMU was like the last team in. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
We'll talk about it more. This is a good plug when we do our actual bracket show and we make all the picks and pick our national champions. But this would be the first time that 11-8 would have been an upset, because last year in the first round, no upsets whatsoever.
Fine,
it wasn't until the next round.
Give me the 11-8 as the track game going forward. Give me
the green wave.
And look, Ole Miss Ole Miss coach is gone. Summerall is 1 foot out the door, but he's going to want those boys playing hard for him. And frankly, Ole Miss, as much of a cute story as it might be, they don't have the dogs. So, like I said, this is the easiest upset probably that you can predict outside of Miami A&M, but you can't really say that's an upset, really, to be honest with you.
And this is also a tryout for whoever is going to come with him to Gainesville. If there's somebody, because think about when Cignetti left JMU, he brought half of JMU's roster with him. So if Tulane goes out there, wins this opening round matchup, whoever is playing, like maybe we see Retzlaff as the starting quarterback of Florida next year. Jake Retzlaff, who is the quarterback of Tulane, was the quarterback of BYU, who it's funny that this gets brought up now because we're about to switch topics. We went through the first couple of rounds of the bracket. They got out because of Retzlaff got kicked out of BYU for breaking the honor code. So he had a girl in his room when he shouldn't have. And Michigan lost their head coach because of the same reason. A girl was in Sherone Moore's room when she shouldn't have been.
I predicted this is going to happen without circumstances.
It wasn't the game. It wasn't the game that they lost.
It wasn't the game, and Michigan fans.
It wasn't the game on the field. It was the game in the locker room.
Look, I have said this over and over again. Michigan, welcome back to irrelevancy. I'm sorry. Like this is the worst timing you could have had for Michigan. Who are they going to go hire as a coach?
As of now, I have.
Dable?
I mean, that would be the one person. Yeah,
are they
sure.
going to poach Matt Rule from Nebraska?
You just said a coach. I'm seeing it here. There's an article that was written on ESPN. You just said a coach that's on the hot seat at the place that he's in. If DeBoer gets fired from Alabama, I mean, what other choices Michigan have at this point?
Would DeBoer jump ship without even getting fired? There's another conversation.
He knows what the Big Ten people are expecting. He doesn't understand what these SEC fans are expecting.
No, he would. I would argue Michigan probably is just as. No, it's not as tough as Alabama, but it's probably that next tier below.
Right now, Nico, all you have to do is possibly make the playoff and not sleep with somebody that you're not supposed to be sleeping with. And it's now looking like it's possibly, underage. This is all speculation, so it's alleged, but he was fired earlier today, and he was detained 45 minutes before we went and recorded this episode.
Yeah, he's been arrested. That's all you really need to know, that you don't get arrested for just having relations with someone at your office. Right, you can have consensual relationships with that within your office,
and it could cost you your job.
It could cost you your job, but it won't get you arrested. Right, it won't get you arrested. It'll get you fired from your job, moved on, saying goodbye. It won't have you arrested and all that, which means something else fishy went on in this world. And like I said, Sherone Moore. I go back to the moment where he cried when Harbaugh couldn't coach that first game 3 years ago, where he was in tears and everything, and how cringe that was, and how much he worshipped the ground that Harbaugh walked. And yeah, he's Michigan is in a dumpster fire mode right now. They are, like I said, Bryce Underwood could be gone. They're in a situation where, like I said, you're not going to get an 8-tier coach. All the 8-tier coaches are gone. You're going to have to call DeBoer. You're going to have to call You're going to have to call some of these. You're going to have to call Franklin and see if he wants to come back to the Big Ten and not go to Virginia Tech. You're going to have to call Pat Fitzgerald, who's the Michigan State head coach now. Like, you're going to have to call all these other, probably Campbell. Probably have to call Campbell and hope to God that he doesn't want to, he's not committed to Penn State and wants to come coach at Michigan. Like, you are in a horrible, horrible spot if you're Michigan.
It is, I mean, he's not going to be claimed as a Michigan man anymore. And he was already, you said he was on the way out because of what
he's on the hot seat already. He's on the hot seat already.
He had not been able to live up to the hype that what Harbaugh built it to. And it's crazy how things change. So the guys that are being targeted right now, Jesse Minter is the other one. So DeBoer was number one on the list. Jesse Minter, who is the defensive coordinator for Harbaugh in Los Angeles. If
could go back,
it could honestly be a situation there where Harbaugh's like, "Hey, we're good here. We'll find a new defensive coordinator. It's clear that they need somebody to fix it. So you go back to Michigan and you put out the fire, and then you can maybe come back here and take over when I want to retire."
Here's a conversation for you, because we can segue this to the NFL. Chargers lose out. Don't make the playoffs.
He loves Justin
Herbert.
Nico.
Would he go back?
He loves Justin Herbert.
I know, but the Chargers love Harbaugh.
It could be.
You know
I mean, if they decide to part ways, I think that they
lose out. They lose out, right? They lose out. Don't make the playoffs. Chiefs jump them. Everything happens. Goes downfall, which they have a tough schedule at the end of the season.
I get that, but you also know why he went from college back to the NFL so that he wants a Super Bowl so that he can match and beat his brother, because his brother doesn't have a college ring.
I like to play the hypotheticals because the Chargers are charging very, very, very quickly. Behold our eyes. Luckily, the Eagles made a buffoonery of themselves on Monday Night Football, and the Chargers are backing themselves into a playoff game. But I'm just saying, it's not out of the question.
As of now, I think that he'd send Jesse Minter back as his
as his phony and
his liaison,
as the bridge guy in case he does get fired, and then he can go back and fall back to Michigan, or he can
go back, you correct Michigan, and then I'm done here in Los Angeles. I've done what I wanted to do. I'm retiring, and then you come up, because I do think right now Jesse Minter's the head coach in waiting for Los Angeles. If they continue on with this, I don't think that Harbaugh's in a position right now to lose his job. But if they lose out, then that's another conversation. He's okay.
They have struggled the last couple of years in the postseason with Harbaugh. So that's where I'm just sitting here being like, is he safe? Is he safe? I don't know. That's an internal conversation we don't know, that we're not part of. But I think conversation could come up if, for whatever reason, that Minter goes to Michigan, right? And Harbaugh's not seen as the guy, and he goes to Michigan. He's maybe not on the sidelines anymore, and he takes the Mike Lombardi approach at North Carolina, where he's the GM. At Michigan.
It's a possibility. I guess what we would call the quote A-tier coach that they're looking at in college football right now is Duke's head coach Manny Diaz, who they did just win a conference championship, and if you give him the resources, I see that as more of like a Rich Rodriguez situation where he's not able to do what he was. You got brought in to rebuild Michigan, who is this storied program. I don't know if Manny Diaz is the guy to do that. The other coach that was on the list.
Manny Diaz is a guy that is great under no pressure.
Yeah.
Right? Miami comes to mind. Right? Miami comes to mind where
he should have never been fired for Cristobal as it stands now. They've been about the same.
But still, like, he's great under no pressure, and he's done great things at Duke. But frankly, Duke is, like I said, not been a ranked team. They backed themselves into an ACC championship because of how bad the conference was. So, I mean, if they want to make that a hire, I think that's a hire that Michigan fans would be like, that's what we're doing. That's what our great institution is doing.
You want to make all the Michigan fans poop in their helmet? The last guy, Tommy Rees, the offensive coordinator for the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, they would love that, right? They would love that.
I just heard a collective.
Maybe they can go. Maybe
they
can go hire Brady Quinn off of Fox NFL, Fox Saturday or whatever.
Brady Quinn's a Notre Dame fighting Irishman. He's not going to go to Michigan. Right. He's not saving Michigan.
Sorry, I was mixing the two up. I'm trying to think who else.
You could go Desmond Howard. Desmond Howard, College Game Day.
Game Day, yeah.
Hey, you know what? Let's just pull the red carpet out. Hire Dave. Call Tom. Hire Dave Portnoy.
Yeah, because that won't go over so well. That would go over great.
People will stop talking about Sherone Moore's relationship. I'll tell you what.
They'll be the laughing stock of college football. If I'll tell you.
Of course, yeah. No, it's a dumb idea. He's not a coach, but you can hire him as a GM.
That would be even worse. Is all I'm gonna say. That would be way worse.
Speaking of the NFL, I have it listed here as one goes up, the other comes down, because we talked about last week the Bengals having a good shot at the playoffs, and Joe Burrow threw that away with that pick six.
Which, by the way, we gave Bo Nix crap for his horrible interception last week. Joe Burrow handed that pick six to him. I don't think you could have given the defensive lineman a handoff better than Joe Burrow throwing that pick six to the guy. That was as bad of an interception, if not worse, because of all the things on the line that Joe Burrow did last week over Bo Nix. Is all I'm going to say.
That is the worst interception I've seen him throw since his bowl game against UCF, where he got planted after he threw the pick six. Yeah. I will give him credit. He does always try. Like, he knew that was a bad interception, and he tried to make the tackle, but he wasn't going to be able to do so. I have a couple.
The lead he had in the situation, and the possibility of
Nico. Why are we
so much worse?
It's snowing. We have a running back who's almost always this season approaching 100 yards. Why are we not putting the ball in the hands of the running back?
Here's a conversation we could have. I think that's a fair one to have. Snow games may not even matter anymore in the NFL. Look at the last couple of big, heavy snow games, right? Think about that Kansas City game last year. Think about that 49ers versus Buffalo game. That was a snowball. There was 80 points scored in that.
Jameis Winston on Thursday Night Football against the Steelers.
Steelers too, where it was a 50-plus, 60-plus point game. I think maybe the conversation with how good these quarterbacks are, which I think is a fair conversation now, and how much people have come up with ways of staying warm and be able to get up and down the field. It's almost as much of a disadvantage for the defense as is the offense. At this point, I think. Back today, obviously, that was a huge conversation. But with how many points are being scored in these horrible weather games, it's a conversation to have.
It is, and I'm more saying we should have ran the ball because of the situation we know our team is in. And that the defense was playing out of their minds, and they're not going to be able to hold up against Josh Allen for that long. And you gave them so much time. Like you turned it into a 3-point game with the pick six. They have another turnover on the next series, and Josh Allen runs over the
next play, by the way, not the next.
The next play.
The next play.
And then the offensive series after that second turnover, Josh Allen ran through the entire defense. Everybody had a shot to tackle him, and he literally just rubbed his nutsack against everybody's forehead, like down, down, down. I have a couple of Bills fans that are my students. And I was like, be honest with me. You were nervous until the pick six. And then when Josh Allen rubbed his – I didn't say it to them. I was like, when Josh Allen just absolutely demolished all of us, that was when I was like, okay, we're losing. It's over. Yeah, we can just pack up, go home.
Like I said, Buffalo, this upcoming game for Buffalo is going to be so interesting to see how it goes and the big game this weekend. But I mean, there's a reason why Buffalo currently is sitting, and they're not even a division leader right now. They are the odds-on favorite to be a team that comes out of the AFC. It's because of Josh Allen. It's because of how good Joshy Boy is and how good this defense can be, and when it's pinned ears back and coming at the quarterback. So, but those are still a big time problem.
And clearly, the teams that they play against know Josh Allen and that offense can score, so they get out of their own game plan. And like I said, the conventional thing to do is just bleed the clock. Even if you don't get a first down, if you give him 80 yards to go instead of 60 yards, or you let them score on defense, that game goes totally differently. But I knew it was over when we scored 35 points. Because guess what, Nico?
You don't win games when you score 35 points.
and 6.
It's
going back to last season. 0-6.
It's actually kind of impressive. Like let's be honest with you. That's kind of impressive.
I'm wearing black today because I'm at a fucking funeral for my football team.
And I'm wearing all white because my team is the number one team in football still. It's very, very funny that Joe Burrow scores 5 touchdowns a game, right? 5 touchdowns, and he can't win those football games.
I'll be honest with you. I'm glad he threw those 2 interceptions because I was playing against him in fantasy. And when I knew that we weren't going to win the game anymore, I was like, okay.
All right. I mean, you needed more this week going into the fantasy playoffs.
I just need to win one. Just need to win one.
Just win one game
Hey,
out of the
I
three.
texted you. I was like, 3-game win streak to end the regular season has me feeling nice. I feel like John Green. I'm feeling nicey right now.
That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what your ranking is in the toilet bowl. As long as you win one game out of the two, you're not getting punished.
Because you know me. I would definitely try and outdo my 10.5-minute mile the next year if I had to do it 2 years in a row.
Oh yeah, you trained for it. You'd be on a treadmill with a full suit. You're like, what is this psycho doing?
Yeah.
You'd be. I said, in toilet bowl. It's funny who's in it because it's a new crop of bodies is all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I was hoping that I was knocking Andrew out of the playoffs, but he had already solidified his spot.
Not to toot my own horn. I'm in 6 fantasy leagues. I'm in 6 playoffs. But also to make it even better, 4 out of the 6 I have a bye. I have a number 1 seed and number 2 seed going into those playoffs. So I hope I can come away with 2. I just want to win one, obviously, every single year, but hopefully I can come away with 2 this year.
Another team that's just good with doing what they need to win, and we'll also get into another conversation with how this game ended, but the Broncos, that was the silence the critics game, because the last time they played the Raiders was when we were able to say, well, the offense looks like shit. They can't run the football without J.K. Dobbins. Everybody's getting hurt. Their defense, I don't know, like the defense was okay then, but sometimes they give up too many points in the week after. Right now, that was the silence all doubters. This team is a contender. They will do whatever it takes to win. They can play whatever style of football that they need to win. If they need to go to overtime to beat a bad Commanders team because they're trying to make themselves better, they will. And the running game reemerged. R.J. Harvey is actually starting to learn how to run the football at an NFL level.
That's back-to-back weeks where he was the dog.
Right? It's not the touch. I'm not looking at the touchdowns because I know if you get inside the 5, he's always going to be able to put it in there and score. He's a strong guy. He's built. He's learning how to follow his offensive lineman and then use his speed, and his speed is untouchable.
It's patience that Dobbins is really, really good at. Right, that Dobbins is better than anybody in the league at that. Is that patience turning into that closing speed, and R.J. Harvey is learning perfectly from him. Like I said last week, there's a reason why R.J. Harvey is not getting the love. Is because, well, we should have drafted Henderson, should have drafted Judkins, should have drafted all these guys. Henderson's the only argument, right? R.J. Harvey thus far, since in games he started, right? This is his now 4th or 5th game he started since Dobbins went out of the injury, has been better than Jency those 5 games. Been better. I get it. It's a better team. All right, the Raiders are the whales bottom
worst
of the NFL.
Team in the world.
The whales bottom of the NFL. But at the same time, Jency was seen as a guy that would propel this team into the playoffs. Remember that conversation during the offseason? People said the Raiders are going to make the playoffs because Geno Smith now has Brock Bowers. Now he has Ashton Jency. Now he has all these talent, right? They're going to make the playoffs because of how good their offense is going to be when Jency has done nothing this year. Right, Harvey has been, like I said, one of the best running backs in football. Him and Travion Harrison, rookie running back wise, have been 1A, 1B thus far. Because A, how good their teams are. Because, like I said, the Patriots, they have Hunter Henry, which is a very, very good tight end, right? Diggs, who's a good receiver. They are relying heavily. Both teams are relying heavily on their rookie running backs to produce, and both are, and the both teams are winning too. Right, so Harvey, as much as people want to give him the hate, well, why are we not trading up for such and such? Why are we not doing this? Harvey has been great. He has been great, and he is slowly getting that confidence where he can see everything develop and figure it out. And like I said, running back is one of the hardest positions to translate to the NFL because of the power and the tackling and how hard it can be on a rookie running back and the body size. But Harvey has adjusted very, very well, and this team offense is only getting better.
He's been exactly what you needed him to be, and he's learning the right way. I know that everybody thinks that offensive linemen don't do anything, but they do have a specific way that they're blocking. And if you can get this guy to the edge, his speed is incredible. But if you can learn how to hit the hole and then bounce to the outside, that's the biggest thing. You can't get to the edge on NFL defenses much, but if you can get 2 yards past the defensive line and then find your opening, that's where he's going to become an X factor. And they said it when he was drafted, and Peyton's doubled down. We didn't draft him like Kamara, where we saw just the receiving out of the backfield. We drafted him as a running back. Yeah. We knew that it was going to take time, And we knew that he could catch the ball out of the backfield, and we know he's smart in the passing game because he used to be a quarterback when he was at Virginia. But they did draft him to be a running back, and they're trying to do the right things to prove that and get him the reps. It's this last 5-week stretch. If the Broncos do what everybody's expecting them to do for the rest of the season and in the playoffs, he is going to be a huge reason why.
Huge reason why. It's because continuing, like I said, the remaining teams you have left on your schedule are teams that are not fantastic against the running game either. So that's going to make a big factor into it as well.
You are going to need to run the football this week against the Packers.
Oh, absolutely. You 100% are. And like I said, it was nice playing another home game in Vegas like usual. Like I said, it's very nice to be a Broncos fan because same thing with the Chiefs is you only play one road game, one in-division road game every single year because you know that when the Chiefs and the Broncos go to LA, it's filled in red or orange, and when you go to Vegas, it's filled in orange or red.
Broncos fans, let us know how the Luxor Hotel was because that's where you stay if you want to go to.
It looked beautiful. It looked like I said, it was filled with orange and the black was the seats. So congrats, Mark Davis. You ruined Al Davis's legacy by making that place a home game for everyone else that comes in to play you. Because I remember when I was in high school. Wow, then I sound like old as heck. And back when you had to go to Oakland and the hellhole that was there, Coliseum, where every Bronco player got spit on. Aqib Talib almost got killed after he snatched Crabtree's chain back in the 2010s, right? Like where he had to get police escorted out of the building. Like that's the things that was fun when you play the Raiders. Now the Raiders are just a pushover, or they just suck, or who cares about them? So it's like I said, it was an important win. Because, like I said, now you have the tiebreaker over the Patriots. Now you have still a stranglehold on your division, right? You with that win, and obviously with what the Chargers did this past weekend, the Chiefs can't win the division. Physically, can't. They are now fighting for their playoff wild card.
6-7. They're 6-7.
Yeah, 6 and 7. I love that.
That's the only day that this week is the only week that I'm allowing it. I said, hey, are you glad that it's Chiefs week? And they were like, what? 6-7.
I like I say, it's important that you keep stacking these wins, and now we can segue that into this week because there's not much you really need to talk about this game. Like I said, the Raiders suck in, and the Broncos made a seemingly very easy win outside of the Raiders covering and the odds makers. Going
the people in the NFL office that were on the headsets to the referees, like, throw a delay game flag. We're on Pete's headset right now. He's going to come out and kick a field goal because we had too much money on the 8.5. So we need to make this.
It was a 7.5.
Some were 8.5 too. That's the other.
What makes it even better? Do you know what the over/under was?
Probably 1 point. 1 point less than what they scored.
40, yeah, it was 41. It was a half point.
Half a point. Yeah.
I've never seen anything like it.
It's all time. That was Vegas is like, you're gonna beat the shit out of our teams when we're here. We're getting our money back.
It's not just the refs. It's also a call down to Pete Carroll. Why are you kicking the field goal? What does that do?
Nothing.
Right? What does that do?
Oh yeah, you're gonna kick a field goal and have 1 second to recover an onside kick.
What does that do? Why would you not try to score a touchdown in the end zone, Hail Mary, just to make the score look a little better? I didn't realize the NFL does score differential as a tiebreaker. Does that?
I don't think it does.
You know, I mean, right? This isn't the NBA Cup, right?
No.
We're trying to run up the score, right?
This isn't the Premier League. This isn't, they lost by 1 goal, they get 2 points. They lost by 3 goals, they get 1.
No, this is not that. So that's all I'm gonna say is Pete's on the chopping block anyways. They're so pissed.
There's no way he makes it past this season, and then that would be 5 head coaches that the Raiders are paying.
Pete Carroll? Oh gosh, you go down the list now of fired head coaches.
Speaking of coaches that, they're going to get you in trouble for so much off the field stuff. Pete Carroll's not in college football anymore because he bought Reggie Bush a house.
Yeah, for a lot of reasons.
Bought Reggie Bush a house and got his Heisman taken away. That's damn tough. That's hard to do.
Very, very tough to do. So, but yeah, I mean, like I said, we don't have to talk about it too much because now this weekend is probably, I think it's the most important weekend of the season for the Broncos for a couple different reasons. Obviously, the Packers game, right? You have a chance to play a very good football team, one of the best hottest teams in the NFL. Obviously, a team that just came off a huge win against Chicago that is looking for the number 1 seed in their own NFC. Right?
Also, it's number 1 versus number 1 in the division.
Exactly. And to add on top of that, this is a great weekend to solidify as a number 1 seed. Because you look at what's New England playing right now. New England's playing Buffalo. That's as much of a opportunity for New England to lose as what's left in the schedule.
I know that it's in Buffalo, but you remember the last time the Patriots?
I know it is. I know that's fair. But all I'm saying is, based upon what their schedule is, it's your best chance for them to lose.
Yeah.
If
you're going to have movement, this is a movement weekend.
This is a massive movement weekend because you win this game and New England loses, you have technically a 2-game lead of the number 1 seed. And you have the one game that has to be made up and the tiebreaker.
If the negative happens, you are in a decent spot. If the negative happens, you are still in a decent spot because of that tiebreaker. Exactly. Like, that's why the Raiders game, even though it didn't matter, it was big. It was huge.
It was a week 2 game that the Patriots lost to the Raiders. We were like, why? What? Like, I'm sorry, what? A lot of those survivor brackets, including mine that week 2, died on that. Okay. Well, I didn't lose on that game, but that was a weekend that a lot of teams died.
It's the Family Guy where Stewie's trying to. Oh, I really messed myself up here. Can you call my chiropractor? I got the number in my back pocket.
It's just like I say. I think it's the biggest weekend. I think for the Broncos, if you want to be real about getting that first round bye, right, and having every game run through Denver, this is the biggest we can do it. And like I said, I'm not saying that the Bills are going to beat the Patriots. I think that's going to be a great game. But I will say that if you want to solidify yourself, you have to continue to match them. And in a case where New England could lose, because they're going to Buffalo, because it's going to be a tough game, then you can solidify yourself even more and not even worry about playing the Chiefs at the end of the season playing the Chargers at the end of the season unless it knocks the Chiefs out of the playoffs, which, like I said, you have nothing to play for last game of the year. Let the Chargers win. See ya. Bye-bye, Patty. See ya.
Do what the Chiefs did to the Bengals last season. I wouldn't mind seeing that. No, this is big. It's also the first time that they're home in a long time. They had the bye week. They were, I think, on the road. No, they were at home against the Chiefs before the bye week. It's been almost a month since we've been able to experience Broncos football here in Denver. And, this weekend and next weekend, Sunday's going to be ridiculous. My girlfriend has the day off on Sundays. She is a server downtown. I think she's probably wishing that she didn't have that set up because there is going to be a bunch of people. And it's going to be. This is the biggest. We've said it a few times, but we've lived through it. This is the biggest amount of Broncos love and support that I've seen in 10 years since we were seniors in high school.
Since we deserved it. Since we've deserved it and we earned it. We earned this. We earned this love and respect. And frankly, there's still people saying that we don't deserve this. We're going to be a first round exit to whoever plays in. Like let's be honest. We talk about the teams that were in this conversation 8 weeks ago, right? Where the Broncos were winning the division, but they were in that mix with other teams. Indianapolis has fallen off.
Yeah.
Indianapolis has fallen off. Kansas City has fallen off. Baltimore has fallen off. Right? Baltimore's fallen off. The Steelers have fallen off. There's been 2 consistencies. It's the Patriots and the Broncos winning every week. That's the 2 consistencies we've had every single week that in the AFC. And people are not giving either of these 2 teams loves because it's Drake May and Bo Nix. They're giving Drake May love because it's Drake May. Like, they're giving him the love because he's the hot commodity. The Broncos are winning games just as good, if not as good, as the Patriots are.
I would say the other thing, I know that the defenses are, I think the Broncos defense as a unit is better. The Patriots defense is the most physical unit I've seen. They hit.
They play like a Vrabel defense will play.
Yes.
Vrabel defense will play.
Vrabel wishes he had defenses that were that nasty in Tennessee. They are mean. Like, they beat the absolute dog shit. I can't even remember who their last primetime game was. The Giants. They beat the absolute dog shit out of the players who had the football. If you had the football in your hands that game, you had a target on your chest.
Wasn't that the game Scatterboo season-ending injury? Or
was Scatterboo had already been out by that point. It was the game that Jackson Dart returned from his concussion.
That's right.
And got blasted on the sideline on a totally clean hit, and I was like, ooh. That was the moment I was like, this Patriots team scares me. They're very scary now. I don't want Joe Burrow to have the football when they're playing against the Patriots.
The AFC, I think the AFC is showing, and this is a thing. Should be, hey, Bengals fans, take notes. The AFC is run by great defenses. Broncos, Patriots, and Texans right now run the AFC.
So not a defense that can't score, that can't stop the other team from scoring 35 points?
I know, right? A defense that can actually punish football teams and be so good. The defenses are running the AFC right now. Not, like I said, it's Stroud, it's Bo Nix, and it's Drake May. 3 quarterbacks that we wouldn't even put in the top 3 of quarterback preseason, because we probably put Drake May in that quarterback echelon now, but top 5 quarterbacks in the AFC. We wouldn't even had that conversation where they were there, right? And then now they are the leaders because they're great defenses and playing smart football. So the AFC is showing that defenses still win championships.
We'll get into more football talk when we get to our picks, but before we get into our picks, it's a big weekend for the two of us. It feels like graduation all over again. Like, I've spent so much time with you. I've had you for so long. I just always assumed you would be there. And I saw a video. It's like the trajectory of being a John Cena fan when he first becomes the rapper. I was like, man, this is my guy. You know who should beat JBL for the WWE Championship? John Cena.
It wasn't even that. It was JBL for the United States Championship.
No, it was JBL for the World Championship. It was Big Show for the U.S. Championship.
Where he lifted.
And that was when we had the original spinner belt. Like, it's been 17 years since we had the original spinner belt, or 10 years since, because he won the U.S. title in 2005. It's been 10 years since then. It's been 17 other world championships since we had the original spinner belt. But it's like the guy that there were certain times where it's like, it's ridiculous. He can't beat Nexus by himself. He beat 6 guys by himself after he gets hit with every single one of their other finishers. Like, there was a time where even I, as a big John Cena fan the entire time through, was like, this is getting ridiculous. He does deserve to lose every now and then.
Yeah.
Now I'm at the point where I'm like, I don't want you to go.
It's main event John. It was main event John for a 10-year stretch. I think there was more there. I know for a fact there was more main events with John Cena included in there than there were other people included. It was Big Match John. It was The Rock. It was Punk.
Super Cena.
It was Edge, it was Orton, it was Batista, it was all those guys where they faced John Cena because they knew John Cena was going to put on a show. Yeah. And here we are in 2025, where deep down, I'm fighting out hope that The Rock shows up and that this isn't his last match, that they make him do one more, that The Rock still owns his soul. Because that's the theories I've been seeing online, because people are denying that he's retiring, including me. And I know your brother is probably doing the exact same thing. But deep down, we're all hoping that The Rock's music hits, and then he says, I own your soul, you're facing me at WrestleMania, and this isn't it. And then next year's WrestleMania is just the end. Because we all know that the WrestleMania is the biggest show. And we're sitting here at Saturday night's main event. A PLE that just came back. It's not even a PLE. It's a house show.
It's not. Yeah, and it's free if you have a Peacock subscription.
And it's free and it'll have ads during John Cena's last match. Like, come on, don't tell me that. I mean, look. There was a conversation that he was going to have 200 appearances, and they said no. 200 appearances, Jimmy. We got robbed. We got fucking robbed. Are you kidding me? 200 appearances. He would have been there every single night, all year long. Yeah, got robbed. As far as I'm aware,
it is one of those things, and I would love to have that hope that this isn't the last time that we see him. But I've seen enough interviews, and he's going on the podcast of like the true, like Sam Roberts' Sirius show.
Roberts,
that is
sweet as well. Like, I know
that is those are the shows that you go on to tell your truth. And he said, he's like, people are saying, oh, you're at least going out on your own terms. He's like, bullshit. I'm not going out on my own terms. I'm doing this because my back it's done. My back cannot handle another year of full-time
There's
work.
one thing that John did more better than anybody, and that's he played to the people. You know what I mean? Is all I'm gonna say. I don't think it'll happen. I think this is the swan song, but I'm just saying I have to hold out a little bit of hope, just because you and I are the biggest fans of the world. We want one more, and no offense to Gunther,
nothing more. Yeah,
no offense to Gunther. Like, I don't want to see John tap out. I don't. And his last time I gave up, and that's the end. Like, his thing is never give up, and then he gave up, and that's the end. That's how we're doing this. Like, I can't believe it. I don't want.
And by the way, it wouldn't even be a tap. He would just be He would just be put to sleep because Gunther's got the sleeper hold.
I can't. And there's no way they don't have John lose it, right? Because John is putting all the talent.
if this is his last match, he's going to lose. That's how the wrestling business works. You put over the next person as you're on your way out. That's and we say this too. John Cena is also that last like branch that we have, because think about it. Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker, all of the guys that were in like the true territory,
there's
play
one
the
guy.
character.
There's only one guy left.
Randy Orton, yes,
is Randy, and Randy's
but those are the guys that understand the brilliance of kayfabe and actually using their characters. And then once they're done, obviously that goes away, because now Undertaker has his podcast. We know Triple H wears glasses and has a heart issue as like the guy sitting back there in the suit, and Shawn Michaels has no hair.
Shawn Michaels doing TikToks with NXT talent. Like that's we are past that kayfabe, and like I said, I haven't watched the WWE.
I have no idea any of the other storylines going. I'm going to my brother's apartment this weekend to watch the John Cena match, and I'll watch the other matches too. But I have no idea what the hell's going on.
The other ones are all up and coming talent, which I think is
exactly
a fun way to do it. Also, but at the same time, I'm just sitting here and I'm just like, please, don't do this to me. Don't just give me one more. Like I paid for a ticket to go last year, okay? Because I thought it was his last race. You bet your sweet butt if I can do it, I'll do it again next year. If he gets one more match, I will be there. I don't care how it is. I'll be there.
I
kind of want to hope for because I can't go to DC because I'm in Philly, which actually isn't that far away.
It's not. No, you'd be able to Uber there for probably less than $60.
Exactly, but the same problem is that we play at the same time. So sorry, Mammoth. Actually, wait, hold on a second. The tickets are too expensive. I can't do that. They're way too expensive. I can't.
By the way, if what you're predicting works out, Nico, those tickets are going to skyrocket even from what they already are.
I'm just thinking of like what time our game ends and what time the main event would go on, and I'm thinking there's a chance, but that would be way too expensive. Is all I'm going to say. It's gosh damn it! I can't believe I'm talking myself into this, but it'd be very difficult. Is all I'm going to say, and it's way too far away. I'll map it, but like that's very, very difficult for me to, because our game is at 2:00, 3:00. But gosh, no, I can't do it. It's too expensive. It's a holiday season. I have to get nice things for my family. I can't do it. All right, it's fine. I'm just gonna watch John's match after. All right, it's fine. I'm not crying inside. I'm fine.
No, it's I'm definitely I'm holding back tears, and I don't know if you're as big a fan of his rap album as I am. I love all of the songs. They were on my football playlist, but he has one that was not like they tried to make him, Chain Gang is a clique. He has a song on there titled "Don't Fuck With Us," and they were trying to make him like this hard gangster. But he has this one song called "Right Now,"
wasn't that the song that they thought his heel run was going to be? Was that the one?
No, the heel run, he recorded a new song that you can only find on YouTube called Hustle, Loyalty, and Respect. And it's a great song. He's a dedicated person, and he puts himself fully into it. His album has some sources say possibly 1.3 million copies in the time. It's been 15 years, so it's not like it blew up overnight, but it is popular and people do listen to the music. But he has a song called Right Now, and he's back home. He's recording it during like Labor Day weekend with all of his family. And that's like, you get to see, he grew up with 4 brothers. He was in Massachusetts, and he was just wrestling West Newbury, Massachusetts, born and raised.
I don't know where that city is, but I know it because of John.
Hey, Nico, what position did he play in college?
Wasn't he a linebacker?
He was a center.
Oh, that's right.
He was a center on the offensive line. Yeah. Thank you very much. At Springfield College, and goes from there, becomes a prototype in OVW. Which
is kind of funny because I know a couple of lacrosse guys that are now from Springfield, that area. I went to that school.
You should talk to them. He was a very good D3 offensive lineman. Springfield is D3 in football. I'm sure that they're a higher level.
I think they're D2 or D3 in lacrosse too. But yeah,
it's just a guy like he did this from the dream that every single one of us had. All of us wrestling with our dads as our promoter and having the paper championship belts. He's now a 17-time world champion. He brought the U.S. title back to relevance. Grand Slam champion, 4-time tag team champion. He's been tag team champions with Hall of Famers like Shawn Michaels. He was also a tag team champion with David Otunga. Like the dude has been here forever.
He's like I said, as long as it's weird. I've started to like feel it. I don't know why. I've started seeing like promotional pictures for the Royal Rumble in January. I've started seeing promotional pictures for WrestleMania, and I'm just sitting here and I'm like, what is like it does. It feels like on the other side of the wall. It just feels like I just see those and I'm like, well, he's not going to be a part of it. Like up until then, we were like, oh, he could be. Like as a fan, when he came out at WrestleMania 2 years ago, when I went to a WrestleMania 40, right? I was holding out hope that I heard out the trumpets. Right? And when I heard it, I went nuts. And the stay down with Rock and everything, I went nuts because I knew there was a chance he'd still be around. But and now I know after Saturday there won't be that chance. And that he'll be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And now, like I said, he said it. He's like, the next time you see me in a WWE setting, I will be in a suit. I was like, oh, so you're giving me a chance that you could be a manager. And I was like, oh, I need to shut up. I was like, now he can be the microphone and the Jimmy Hart. And I'm like, no, he'll just do movies and he'll be successful doing that. Which, by the way, it's funny how a 360 how it's been because when he was on, what was it, Trainwrecked with what's her face,
Amy Schumer,
with Amy Schumer, and then the G.I. Joe stuff. Or the Marine stuff wasn't very good. Now he was
in Fast and Furious 11. He was Dom Toretto's long lost brother.
And now he's Peacemaker, and it's become
Peacemaker's amazing.
It's his role. It's his role. Yep. There's no one else. Like I said, how we talk about Harry Potter with Daniel Radcliffe. How we talk about Tobey Maguire and Spider-Man. It's how we talk about Christian Bale and Batman. It's Peacemaker and John Cena. There's no. He is the character. And
he's the character in Mortal Kombat. When you buy the Peacemaker character in Mortal Kombat, that's John Cena.
It's still weird hearing him cuss. I don't know why. It still feels weird hearing him like not be the Fruity Pebble and killing people and being Peacemaker and being that asshole.
Nico, word life. This is basic thugonomics. Two-faced Raptors walk away with 4 shiners. Okay, that's the John Cena that's in Peacemaker.
The real question, and I think we can end it here, is like what does it look like Saturday night? What's his entrance look like? How does the match end? How do we see a overproduced match where everyone just comes out and gives him his flowers at the end? Do we see the hundreds or millions of Make-A-Wish kids all there in attendance? Do we like how do we see this ending?
I am in my perfect mind, or the way that this thing works out perfectly. I'm seeing like a level of match that we saw when he wrestled AJ Styles, because that was the whole height of the John Cena can't wrestle, and he had back-to-back 5-star matches with AJ Styles. Gunther is a great wrestler. That match, the match itself should be worthy of his final match. They will probably overbook it at the end. There will be run-ins. You can't sit here and say it's going to be the main event of John Cena's last match that he's ever on WWE television, and we're not going to see. I mean, I'm picturing Batista, and we
Randy.
Randy, but I'm seeing Batista come out, and I don't know if it's going to be heel Batista or face Batista because he was both. And if he's face Batista, he's pissed off at Gunther for using his powerbomb, and he's going to powerbomb Gunther and possibly help Cena, or he powerbombed Cena one last time because, by the way, he was one of the times that John Cena broke his neck and broke his back taking a powerbomb from Batista, taking a Batista bomb.
I don't hate that. But the side of me, because the John I grew up watching, I think I see Super Cena one more time. I think he dominates Gunther. I don't know why.
Can we get the attitude adjustment called the FU one last time, please?
And the STF be the STFU one time. Like
does he force Gunther? Does he force Gunther to submit to the STF?
Oh gosh.
That move is terrible. The way that he puts it on, there's no pressure at all on that move.
No, there's nothing he does to it. It just looks cool. That's all it is. I don't know. I wish this was a no hold barred match where he could do the STFU off of a car. I wish he could go into the stands. I wish he could be bloodied up. I wish he could fight one last war and not just be a match where it's just grappling, because that's not what John was, and that's not what John Cena's career was. Is he was a never say die, just warrior that would fight anybody. Not a guy that's sitting here doing grappling matches. Like, that's just never what he was. He put on a show, and that's who he was. So I just hope that's the end of it. I hope that we see I hope that the intro song is just a mashup of Thugonomics into the My Time Is Now. And we just get every version and a whole video package like we did for CM Punk with his WrestleMania intro last year. where we had the My Fire Burns playing. You had the videos of I am the greatest professional wrestler in the world, and it's John Cena's promos for the last 20 years doing that. I just hope we get all that.
You want some? Come get some. If they're smart, they let him cut a promo pre-match because that's an old school wrestling move. He's old school enough to be able to do it. I would love to see a promo cut pre-match, and maybe Gunther. That's how Gunther gets his heat initially, because the villain does always have to have a portion of the match that he dominates, and then you get to see Super Cena.
That was the one thing that's been missing from this, is because Monday night Gunther had a great promo, and the only thing that was missing was John Cena saying,
I don't have to write my promo notes on my wrist, Gunther.
It's like, nice stuff, kid. Great stuff, kid.
You want to take it up a notch? You want to go to 11? I can go to 12. You want to see what 12 looks like?
You want to make, yeah. You want to make your promos at a 6 or 7. You want to see what Super Cena looks like. So yeah, I'm excited. It'll be fun. I think next week I want to go over. Maybe we'll bring back top 5 next week, and we'll do top 5 Cena matches all time, and we go through them. Just because, like I said, we're college football season's ending, and NFL we're slowing down, and the cup will be over. So maybe we'll go through all that next week. But yeah, it's a swan song, and I can't wait to watch the whole event. Like I said, I'm going to try to stay spoiler free while our game is on, as we're beating Philadelphia to a pulp in the NLL game this weekend for the Mammoth, and then watch the whole weekend, the whole show this weekend. So I can't wait.
I will definitely be doing. I won't spoil it for you. I'll be keeping my opinions to myself. What we could do is on our bracket show, because Dom has been a contributor on our bracket show. You know he's going to be watching too. Maybe that's when we do our full breakdown, because it'll be interesting. He's more of a Cody guy. Obviously, he's a Rhodes. He's a Rhodes stan.
And that was our conversation during WrestleMania 41 this past spring, when I was like, I don't care that John hates me. I want him to win. And I was one of the few people in the stands in Allegiant Stadium yelling for him and cheering for him, even though he was the bad guy, quote unquote heel.
I'm excited for it. We'll be recapping what is possibly, I'll say possibly now to keep Nico's hope alive, possibly John Cena's last match.
More than likely, 90%. I would put it at 10% chance that happens. But man, could you imagine just just because, like I said, he could win his last match. Mm. He loses this, Rock comes out, WrestleMania wins his last match against The Rock, and then we're done. And then it's over.
I think both of them probably need to be done, because The Rock is definitely not in shape enough right now. He's lost a lot of weight too. Like, what's going to happen? Who's going to be the main event next year that's going to want to make me go? Brock Lesnar and Dom Mysterio.
It's just like, I think I've hit my
Dom gets back with his daddy, and now we got Booyaka Booyaka Part 2.
I just think I've hit my peak of what WrestleMania main events are going to be until we get that next great story, which could be Braun Breaker or something. Or something along that.
Here's my thing. And we're going to get into our pick 'em. I have it on the screen. Nico is still leading, and we'll get into what happened.
You had a great week, by the way. You had a great week.
Talk about a Super Cena week. That was my Super Cena week. But I laughed at my parents when I didn't laugh at them, but I was like, oh, okay. Like when Hulk retired, because I knew Hulk Hogan as the guy that had no hair on the top, that would come out, and I don't know how he was winning these matches, but he was. I didn't know Hulk Hogan as, say, Thunder Lips from Rocky III, or like the biggest star in WWE that Vince McMahon had ever made to the time. But I actually do understand it now. So all of those generations of fans that I made fun of for your Hulk Hogan.
Well, I mean, like our childhood is dying in front of us.
It's dead.
Tom Brady's gone.
Hey,
LeBron, like as much as I hate LeBron, LeBron's my last hope in basketball.
Phillip Rivers is back.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
Before we get into our picks, that's Phillip. Did you see his press conference today? He's like, obviously my playing weight is different than what it was back then. But then I also thought I never ran away from anybody anyways, so it's not like anything changes. Grandpa, sit down.
The last game Phillip Rivers played as a quarterback, this show wasn't a thing. 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 2020 season.
That was January of 2020. You're right.
We've had 4 years of the show now. And Phillip Rivers, we've never talked about Phillip Rivers as an active quarterback. Here we are as an active quarterback.
Now we get to talk about mother flipping Phillip Rivers as an active quarterback.
He was Hall of Fame eligible this year.
He's a semifinalist.
Well, not anymore, but he was.
Now, I mean, I think that's part of the reason why he's okay with coming back. And he's also definitely delusional enough to think that he has some sort of shot.
Well, did you hear the other thing? Is like apparently Steichen and Phil Rivers and Steichen have talked throughout the whole season, and that Rivers was the offense he runs for his high school team that he coaches is the same offense the Colts run.
I mean, and also it's not like not being hit for 4 years is going to make his body feel worse. Like I don't think he's going to look as good as he did when he was.
He may crumble to pieces.
I think, but here's the thing: his arm is probably going to be better than it's been since he was in his 20s, because all he's done the last few years is coach high school football, throw the ball around. He's going to be fat. He's going to look like the hefty lefty.
Well, he's not going to play this weekend. Let's also put that to bed. It's going to be Riley Leonard. But in case Riley Leonard does something happen, he will be the guy thrusted into the lineup.
Oh, man, it's Oh, and that also, by the way, because he's on the practice squad, he is not ineligible for the Hall of Fame until he's activated from the practice squad up to the active roster.
I thought he was signed.
You got to be active on the active roster. Once you're on the active roster, your clock will reset, so he'll have another 5 years.
Who's the backup this weekend?
I have no clue.
It's not Richardson.
I know, because I forgot Richardson broke his face.
He's on the IR.
Richardson broke his face in preseason. I have no clue, honestly. So Jonathan Taylor?
Do they not have a back? I mean, Kendall Hinton? Bring back the legend of Kendall Hinton? Wildcat? I mean, they're nearing Wildcat quarterback being the all-time quarterback for them. And by the way, this is a team that has lost 3 straight that was vying for the number 1 seed. Now they don't even have a stranglehold on their division with how good the Texans have been.
You're going to love this. Brett Rippon.
Oh, my gosh, Brett Rippon. How many? He's been on.
He was on the Bengals practice squad a couple weeks ago.
I thought we talked about him on a different team.
We did. You saw him on the sideline Monday Night Football when Browning was getting his ass kicked by the Broncos.
That's right. I remember seeing Rippon now being like, wait, that's Rippon on the sideline backing up Browning. That's right. You're 100% right now. I can't believe that. You're right.
He's more than likely probably going to get in the game, because I don't see Riley Leonard. He wasn't a good quarterback at the college level. I don't see him doing what
well, I mean, maybe he's successful, because remember, all he did at Notre Dame was turn around and hand the ball off to Jeremiah Love. So all he has to do that now is to Jonathan Taylor. So
just exists between the snap and the 3 seconds of you getting Jonathan the ball. That's all you got to do. If this will solidify Jonathan Taylor's case for MVP, if they are successful coming down the stretch,
that's been obliterated. I don't think there's a chance in heck now, because after everything he's done the past 3-4 weeks since they've been on this losing streak, he has gone dead silent.
Yeah, and they're also not giving him the ball, so not trusting your best player to get himself out of a rut is not necessarily the best thing moving forward.
Well, now they kind of have to, and now they're facing arguably the scariest defense out of the NFC.
Oh yeah,
in Seattle.
The defense that was good enough to keep them in a game where their quarterback threw 4 interceptions against the Los Angeles Rams, and they were still within 3 points of winning that game. We both have the Seahawks.
Yeah, there's a reason why I had to let that one go, because that may be the biggest gimme of a win this week that we'll have. Like, I don't see how the Colts come out of this one alive.
Yeah, that was when I was looking through the initial schedule. I was like, the one game that I'm pretty solid about, that I have no issues, the Seahawks are going to beat the Colts, especially because it's Riley Leonard. Next week, you might see the Colts on the opposite side for me, because who knows? Philip Rivers will have one game. He'll have one.
He's not playing this weekend. And unless Riley Leonard is horrifying and actually gets carted off the field, he won't get thrusted.
But why then answer me this: why would they bring him in for a workout and then sign him? Because everybody was thinking, they need to bring him in for a workout to try and motivate the guys in front of him. They signed him before he even got on the field.
I think this could be the Udonis Haslam signing, where he's on the lineup coaching the quarterback.
You want to know what I think it means? I think it means they know that the quarterbacks they have on the roster right now are worth jack squat.
Well, yeah, that's a fact. It's not
clearly
an argument.
No, clearly, because that's a 45-year-old Philip Rivers coming back to play football for you.
Who are the? Who are the guys they could have gotten? Ellinger? They could have got Ellinger. He's on the Broncos.
Ellinger was on the practice squad for the Colts too.
They could have signed him off of our practice squad. There is other guys out. Hold on.
Colin Kaepernick.
Is Jameis on the practice squad? No.
Jameis is not on the practice squad. No.
Is it Russ? Oh, they don't want Russ.
They could have. I mean, they probably could have.
Let me argue because
They probably could have caused Nico to cut him.
You can sign people off practice squads. Like that's we signed Lil Jordan Humphrey off of the practice squad for the Giants. You signed people off practice. You're telling me there wasn't one third-string quarterback in the NFL that would have been better? That's why I think Phil Rivers isn't playing. That he's just there to coach them.
I think he's going to play next week. I think this week is his buffer so that he can try and get himself back into shape. I think we're going to see Philip Rivers next week.
We maybe see a man go for the first time ever retirement game, like a quarterback.
Excuse me.
Yeah, sorry.
Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck did.
Yeah, but like that was after a game he wasn't playing. Like a guy get hit so bad middle of a game that he's retiring. Antonio Brown did that basically. There was another like corner that did it. I think for the Colts or the Dolphins back in the day that said left at halftime, said I'm retiring, can't do this. I think we may see it. I don't know how he can physically stand up and do that.
It's bad. I'll move through my games quickly. I have the Giants taking down the Commanders. It's a bad game.
Daniel's back.
I know, but I do think that the Commanders defense is worse than the Giants defense. Neither team has been good, but I trust I think that Jackson Dart will put it together a little bit more against a bad defense, and we talked about it 2 weeks ago. That was the best game Washington is going to play for the rest of the season, and I think there's a chance they lose out the rest of their games, and they're probably looking for that because then they could use their high pick for leverage because you do think that you have your quarterback in Jaden Daniels. They're not going to be drafting one of these quarterbacks this year. Maybe you use that for a guy that will help you, maybe keep him upright and standing, or, hey, invest in your defense. Because your defense is, I know that the Bengals get shit for being the worst defense in the NFL. The Commanders are right up there with them. So I'm having that one there.
I mean, I don't hate it. I think you have to make up this 4-game deficit based upon the games I did. You have to make a little bit of interesting noise, is all I'm going to say.
And I don't get to see Nico's picks before. He gets to see them when
which, by the way, when I see your picks, I don't pick the same one.
I understand.
Outside of one.
I'm just saying that Nico makes the graphics. So Nico gets my picks because he has to make the pictures, but I don't see his picks and he's not using my picks for anything. Clearly he's winning. And he's been winning all season.
Like I said, I've been just picking games that have been different. Outside, like I said, I think there's one weekend that we've picked the same game 2 times.
Yeah.
I think besides that, it's been all different, which is, like I said, look at our records.
We're good. Both of us are really good.
Very, very good.
We would be plus a lot of money right now if we were able to gamble, and if we decided to partake, we would be very good money-wise. I'm going with Houston. That defense just shut down Kansas City, and Arizona is not Kansas City. Arizona just got whooped by 40 last week. It's probably not going to be that big of a blowout, but I see Houston winning, and I'm hoping for your sake that they win and keep putting pressure on the Jaguars, because I think the Jaguars coming into Denver with a lot of pressure is actually going to be worse for them in the upcoming week. So I think Houston will win and put that pressure on.
Division leader, I think, right now. I think they may have a tiebreaker over Jacksonville. So they're a team that people are now thinking that could go on a deep run because their offense is slowly figuring it out, and their defense is still very, very good too. So a team that's in the Bronco boat of a team that, like I said, you could probably say CJ Stroud is better, if not even with Bo Nix. I don't think he's worse by any means. So, like I said, the Texas team that has Nico Collins, that has a good running game too with Woody Marks, that's figuring it out offensively with a great defense. They're a real contender in the AFC too.
My last game is the Chicago Bears. They're going to bounce back and get a win over Cleveland. I picked up Shador a couple weeks ago, and Shador is actually good. He's helping me out.
He was very good last week.
Fantasy-wise, he's been playing very good quarterback. And give him credit because he was close to leading that comeback. They took him off the field twice for two-point conversions.
Stefanski I think is trying to make him be a failure. I think he realized, being like, oh, crap, I have to start him now for the rest of the season. He's been good. Like, oh, crap. Like, I have to see what I got from him because Gabriel had played 5 games and done nothing. And Shador at least has won a game. I understand it was against the Titans, but he won a game.
No, he lost against the Titans this last week.
I know, but he's won a game. I know he's won one.
He beat I can't remember who he beat, but he has won game. But this weekend this was the Titans get right game against the Browns this weekend.
And now he has a chance to, like I said, put on a great performance where he's throwing for 350 yards and 4 touchdowns. Like, that's a good performance from a quarterback. That's a rookie performance from a quarterback. Like, damn, we got something. Right? You see that from a rookie quarterback. I know it's weird circumstances and it's a guy, but if you see a guy like, for instance, J.A. McCarthy throws for 4 touchdowns, 350 yards, we're like, oh my gosh, the Vikings got something. Right? You know what I mean? Like any other young rookie quarterback does that. We're like, we got something here. We got to see what we do. And I think, like I said, Shedeur has earned the right to be the guy for Cleveland to the end of the season, which they have said he's the starting quarterback for the rest of the season, and now has an opportunity to A, win the job, and B, at least make a name for himself where the Browns, if they aren't the worst team in the league, where they may lose out on Mendoza, may lose out on who's the other guy? The Dante Moore.
Yeah.
Lose out on both. They lose out on both of them. They'd be like, you know what? We're going to give Shedeur and Gabriel another chance next year. Where it's not that big of a deal. Where they could get another big time player in next year's draft outside of quarterback. So.
And sometimes it doesn't matter where you're drafted, because I will say it again. Tyler Shuck, because the Saints won another football game. Tyler Shuck is a very good quarterback, at least for his rookie season. So it's not like you can't find something that can help you out. And that bodes well for Shedeur's case, because Shedeur is now a 4th-round draft pick that he's going to have to wear with him, 5th-round draft pick, and he's going to have to wear that with him for the rest of his career. I do see the Bears under Ben Johnson being able to right their ship.
It's also negative 20 degrees that game. It's going to, the windshield is not in Shedeur's favor, is all I'm going to say.
No, and this is the guy, there's some voodoo magic that the Packers have over the Bears, but this season outside of that game, the Bears seem to be able to win these close games and games that they normally would not be able to even be close in.
Yeah, the Bears, this is a weird scenario. The Bears and the Packers in this scenario, they play themselves twice out of the next 3 weeks. Play them last week and play them again this week. So, could be a trap game. A for the Packers against the Broncos, and B, Bears against the Browns, which could go, like I said, could make a factor, because both those teams are vying for that division win right now, which is crazy to think about. Yep. So I think it's going to be a great game. My picks, like I said, I went Seahawks over the Colts. I don't think we need to beat the nail on the head too much. Seahawks are one of the best defenses. Colts are on a downhill slide very, very quickly. Last week I got burned by picking against 2 good teams. I picked the Eagles over the Chargers. Chargers are a good team. Eagles bit me in the butt, or more, Jalen Hurts bit me in the butt. And
four interceptions, yes.
4 interceptions, yeah. So that didn't help my case there. And then I picked the Ravens over the Steelers, and I forgot that the Steelers own the Ravens still. So and Mike Tomlin is still trying to get his team to 9-8, which looks like very possible because he has to win those type of games. So I messed that up. So this week I picked against 4 bad teams, including the Colts with a bad quarterback. So give me 49ers over Tennessee Titans. Christian McCaffrey may win 50 fantasy, like 5,000, 5 million fantasy matchups this weekend alone. Where fantasy managers with Christian McCaffrey on the team may say they'd be like, more. Keep giving him the ball. More. Please. Again. Just keep beating him and just let him keep scoring on this Titans defense over and over and over and over again. Then I went Eagles over the Raiders. Eagles get right game. Raiders are the worst team in football.
Do the same thing with Saquon. Run him.
Into the ground. I have him on 2 teams, which, by the way, both those 2 teams are on buys, so that won't help me much. But keep giving him the ball. Just don't get him injured. Keep giving him the ball. And then I went Jacksonville over the Jets. The Jets put out Connor Cook this past weekend. I don't know if you realize that. They didn't have what's his face got injured.
Tyrod Taylor.
Tyrod Taylor got injured. They've
just refused to play Fields anymore.
I think they did. I heard from somewhere that it was Brady Cook or something. Maybe it was the quarterback or Connor Cook. I got to look this up because saw
Brady Cook. It sounds familiar, but
let me look this up because I was like, what? Why is Tyrod not playing? And he took the job over. And let's see, it was. Yep, Brady Cook. Tyrod Taylor went 1 for 4 for 6 yards, and then Brady Cook stepped into the football game, went 14 for 30, 163 yards, and 2 interceptions for the Jets. Yeah. This may be the lock of the century of the Jaguars or the Jets, is all I'm going to say.
The Jets.
They're not even playing Justin Fields.
No,
is he injured?
I think that they just decided that he wasn't going to play for the rest.
That he may actually win that game.
It could be one of those. You know that this is the team that their owners play Madden, and then whatever they do in Madden, they just try and play out in real life.
Well, they are trying by all means necessary to make Fernando Mendoza a Jet. Is all I'm going to say.
That poor kid.
That poor kid.
That poor kid.
That poor, wonderful, nice man that deserves to be gift wrapped to a good franchise because he's a great quarterback. And such a nice
where he deserves to go is with Kevin O'Connell in Minnesota. Or erase JJ McCarthy.
Maybe New Orleans with Kellen Moore. Which, like I said, I'm picking teams that
New Orleans has a quarterback. What are you talking about?
I'm just like I said, the Saints are going to be one of the worst teams in football, anyways. And Mendoza's a dog. Okay, like is Tyler Shock really gonna stop you from drafting Mendoza first overall? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Is all I'm gonna say. You know what I mean?
Drafting two quarterbacks back-to-back years is not a good idea.
I know, but it's not like Shock is winning. It looks like a first-round pick. Okay,
Yeah.
And Mendoza you could get at the 1-1. Is all I'm gonna say.
All right, let's speaking of Indiana, we're going to go to player of the week, and I'll put mine out there first. I have the hero, besides Fernando Mendoza, the hero of this game because both their top two receivers went down. Charlie Becker is the slot receiver for Indiana. He was the guy that Mendoza forced to stay after practice for 45 minutes so that he can get an extra 45 minutes of throwing routes, and he's just catching balls because at that point of the season, he was never going to see the field. Unless it was a blowout, unless it was a game that didn't matter. Well, he was inserted into this game because of all the injuries at receiver, and Charlie Becker had 6 catches for 126 yards, and he had the play of the game that won them the Big Ten championship on the 3rd down and 6, where nobody's running the ball. We're not going to take the stick route at the chains. I'm going to throw a slot fade to this kid who I haven't even played all season, and he's going to go up there and make the catch.
Great catch. I mean, like I said, Indiana, like I said, we didn't talk too much about that Big Ten championship. But I will say, like I said, I watched from start to finish that game, and I was incredibly impressed by this Indiana defense. This Indiana defense gets after you. They get after you. And then Mendoza, I was like, dude, this is, first of all, should be the Heisman winner. Second of all, like I was very, very impressed by this Indiana team. And Ohio State, like I said, ran into the best off. They're the number 1 and number 2 teams in the country for a reason. So, Becker was great. I want a couple honorable mentions for my player of the week because I have a couple that are interesting. First of all, Pat Spencer for Golden State is on a tear. For those that don't know who Pat Spencer is, well, he was the first ever PLL rookie or rookie draft number 1 pick. Rookie draft, number 1 pick by the Utah Archers back in 2019. Excuse me. First overall pick, right? Never played a second in the PLL. He instead went back to college and played basketball at Northwestern. And now is an absolute star for the Golden State Warriors. A guy, while Jimmy Butler's been injured, while Golden State's dealt with injuries, he's been dog. I know those people, our friends at Fat Boy Fadeaway love Pat Spencer. And like I said, I am a Pat Spencer lover because he's a lacrosse guy. And I love my lacrosse guys, okay? Other honorable mention, what was the other one? Oh my gosh, I can't remember my other one. Well, it was going to be John Cena, but I have to throw this guy out there because we talk ultimate sports and I'm the alternate sports guy. Lando Norris is your Formula One World Drivers champion for Formula One 2025. I didn't watch that race because it was at 5 a.m. and I was not waking up at 5 a.m. I'm sorry. Was not going to happen. Finished 3rd in Qatar. Number 1, he knocked out Max Verstappen, the guy who's won the last 4 years. First ever, a guy that is widely known for his on social media presence, guy that streams Fortnite, guy who plays video games online, that is a big who's dating a guy or dating a woman who was married to a former soccer player, João Felix. I know this is stuff that means nothing to you, but like I said, it was a cool story. And McLaren wins the constructor championship as well, and for the first time in a long time. So it's the first non-Red Bull / Mercedes champion since Lewis Hamilton in 2007 with McLaren. So it was a fun time for Lando, and congratulations to him. So he's my player of the week. And
funny enough, this Monday I did get asked, Mr. Pilato, did you watch F1? I said, no.
I said, I know you don't watch it. The sport, you need to watch the Netflix show. I think you would thoroughly enjoy it. It's a lot easier to watch than the actual races. The actual races are a little tough to watch on TV, but all the drama, and like I said, you don't know who's won. So you'll see all the drama and everything play out, and that's what makes it so much fun, the show. So I think you'd love it on Netflix.
Yeah. Once I finish the 50 Cent Diddy documentary, I'm going to definitely need something. Oh, I'm so deep into it. I love it so much. I love it so. It's such big psychology and sociology. It's been my favorite thing. I want to rewatch episode 1. We only watched 1 episode last night, and I want to rewatch it just so that I could see it all happen again.
And I just finally finished Stranger Things, the new season. Another part, volume 2 comes out, and on Christmas Day, I was licking my chops. I was like, oh my God.
You are gonna like this. So we're decorating our doors for the holidays, and guess what won the vote this year for my class?
It had to be a Stranger Things one.
It was Joyce's Wall. with the ABC
with
letters.
The letters. Oh, that's great. I love that. That's so good. Yeah.
And they were like, that's not really holiday themed. It's like, there's a house that's decorated as Stranger Things right now that's getting national publicity. So, hey, we'll go with it. Who do you got for Benchwarmer?
Actually, I went with the Colts. We don't have to be a dead horse. I don't know why they're signing a guy off of literally a high school coaching job.
A grandfather.
A a guy whose son is older than the Riley Leonard.
Yeah.
Who's going to be
a guy who's changing his own kids' diapers and his grandkids' diapers, because yes, he has a kid that's older than Riley Leonard, but he also has a kid that's like just graduating elementary school.
This picture I pulled up is 5 years old, and that is the guy you just signed to your practice squad. And look, they are on a downhill slide because of Daniel Jones' injury and everything. So
Nico,
yeah, I had to Colts.
Just picture the guy that's waking up from a coma that happened in January of 2020. He's like, Phil got us into the playoffs, right? Yeah, and he's still the quarterback. I knew it. I knew we were going to win that year, and I knew that we were going to have success.
Well, what do you think Chargers fans are thinking? Seeing that their greatest quarterback in franchise history is back at 44 years old playing for. It's
just got to be strange. It's like
could you imagine if the Broncos brought back Peyton in 2021 when we had 3 quarterbacks go down with COVID, and we had to play Kendall Hinton? That's basically what the Colts just did.
Yeah.
Could you like think about that?
It's the most off-putting thing since seeing your teacher outside of school in public, and you're like, "What the? You're a human being. You go places outside of the school. You're not supposed to do that. Don't do that."
Makes no sense.
Mine is Notre Dame fans, another group that we talked about quite a bit. I love the picture you chose.
I had to pick one, and
that guy is definitely big crying right now.
I love Shane Gillis. You know, you love Shane Gillis too.
Everybody loves Shane Gillis.
Shane Gillis, and he's the most notable Notre Dame fan. Probably right now, outside of fake Lou Holtz. So I will say he's probably the number one guy, and I had to throw him in there. So no slight to Shane Gillis, but he's the spokesperson now for the fan base. So
you either had to pick this one or you had to pick a picture of Rudy, because how many memes did you see this weekend of social media? Well, now that Notre Dame's not in the playoffs, Rudy has entered the transfer portal. So I saw a picture. Miami fans are definitely using this to their advantage. I saw a Photoshop picture of Rudy in a Miami Hurricanes Letterman jacket. They literally took the picture from the movie.
By the way, it doesn't have to be AI anymore, or it doesn't have to be Photoshop. It's AI.
It probably could be AI too.
AI it and look just as good.
It was off-putting to say the least when I saw that. That was a jam-packed show. I think that we both were probably going to end up thinking about, John Cena, and I hope everybody listened to the sports that we're talking about too. But that was, when I first started watching John Cena, Nico, I had the dream of being in the NFL. That was my one life's goal. I didn't have any other plans. That's how old I was when I first started watching him.
I never had. I had this dream slightly, but I know you had this dream more. But you even went to a school for wrestling.
I did have a consultation in my senior year of high school, and they were, Nico, it's Carney for a reason. The carnival salesman, they're like, we'll put the strap on you. You get to bring the strap to school. What about that? Because I was like, I'm going to finish high school. It's like, why finish high school? Come here after school. Be the Intercontinental Champion. Bring the Intercontinental Championship belt to school. The ladies will love it. And I was like,
did I ever tell you about how my brother wanted me to go to this bar? My brother went to this bar downtown Denver, and he had his girlfriend and one of his good friends were all in town, and he was like, "You want to come out to us?" This is like the Wednesday, or this was like last year or 2 years ago or something. And he was like, "You want to come out?" I was like, "No, I'm not really interested in that anymore. I'm okay." And then I get a call 2 hours later to be like, "Nico, come down here right now." Like, what do you mean? He's like, "They have a live taping of a indie wrestling show at this bar."
They were at a Rocky Mountain Pro show?
Yes, they were at a Rocky Mountain Pro show at this
no way.
It was at this German bar. I was like, "You're joking right now." He's like, "Dude, you got to come watch this. This is incredible." And so I went down there.
Nico, they are legit on YouTube every single week. They live stream their shows every single week on YouTube.
I went to a live show at a bar at this. I thought it was a cool bar. It was like I forgot what it was.
I think it's probably up north. I can't think of the name too, but that was. It was like, Rocky Mountain Pro. They were just starting like the YouTube channel when I went and did my consultation at the wrestling school.
I was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe this is actually entertaining."
And this is even better. So I met the guy who ran the school because it was the junior year of high school when I couldn't wrestle, and I was at one of the tournaments helping out the JV coach, and there was the other guy. He had a long ponytail and had a highlight streak through his hair, and the other Creek coach and I were like, what the fuck does this guy think he's Shawn Michaels or some shit? Lo and behold, it's Matt Yaden, who runs Rocky Mountain Pro Wrestling, and he also did a stint in TNA. I was like, holy shit, he is Shawn Michaels.
It's like I don't, all kudos to those men and women who do that still, just for the love of the game. I could never.
They've had a couple of guys get tryouts at NXT. They've never had anybody be successful going to NXT. They're more successful in the TNA world. Like the Rocky Mountain Pro, it's regional. It is
It's sickos.
Low production. It's wrestling sickos.
It's wrestling sickos. We're sickos. We don't watch that weekly. Okay, there's worse.
Maybe they have a couple people that might win a tag team championship someday down the line in the future. But in Colorado right now, if you want to be a pro wrestler, if you want to just do it on the weekends, Rocky Mountain Pro is there. Check it. Subscribe to our channel and then go check out their YouTube channel after you're done watching this episode.
My brother.
Well, I don't know if he's still going, but right now he froze on my screen.
Like I said, we're totally there. You are. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I think we froze for each other, so I missed what you said. The people who are listening are going to hear everything. So
yeah, they don't need to hear this part. Don't worry. They probably already.
They'll hear you talking. They'll hear your story. That's for sure.
Like I said, it's Sicko's community, and it's why you and I love this, and why you and I love John Cena. So.
Oh yeah, it's going to be awesome. Make sure you tune in. If you have a Peacock subscription, it is your American duty to cheer John Cena on against that Austrian bastard Gunther. Let's make sure that Intercontinental Championship stays home stateside.
And if you're bored about watching before, throw on ESPN Plus. We're on ESPN Plus. The Mammoth played the Philadelphia Wings last Saturday. So
check out the Mammoth, check out the NLL, check out Saturday night's main event, and continue to check out this show. Tell your friends about it. Tell them all to subscribe, become Benchwarmers. New episodes drop every Thursday on YouTube and all podcasting platforms. Make sure that you're following us on social media at FEOTB Pod. This has been episode 259 of the Far End of the Bench podcast. For myself, Jimmy Pilato, with my co-host, Nico Bryant. We will see you guys next week.
Peace.
If you don't stay down and you never quit, come on over here and sit on the far end of the bench.